Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Dalton, if you didn't already know that. On this channel, I talk about all things investing with my tips, tricks, and insight into the stock market. If you're looking to increase the size of your portfolio, make a little bit of extra money on the side, then you're definitely going to want to subscribe to this channel and turn on that bell notification to be alerted when new content comes out. I post a ton of different videos you're definitely not going to want to miss. One of the main things that I talk about on this channel, if you just scroll through my channel in itself, is Robinhood investing. And in this video here today, I want to give you a complete 100% beginner's guide to using Robinhood investing. I'm going to be talking about all of the features that it has to offer, mainly the ones that I take advantage of. And there are a lot of features that even if you feel like you know the app, you know the inner workings, your way around it, there is a lot that may be on this list you've never even heard of before. So I would highly recommend, no matter what level investor you are, if you use the Robinhood app, if you don't use it, maybe you're thinking about starting to invest using Robinhood, this is a really solid video for you to check out. So without further ado, let's just jump right into the app. All right, so now the Robinhood app is open, and just so you're aware, there is also a web-based platform. So maybe you don't like investing using your mobile device for whatever reason, you can always just jump on online and you can invest through the website itself. So it's really solid. One of the main reasons why I love using Robinhood investing is because of its ease of access. You know, I can invest on the fly. I could be taking a train, I could be literally anywhere in the world, and I could just pop this app open, start searching, trading stocks as I wish. So that's one of the main reasons why I really love using Robinhood. And aside from that, my background with Robinhood, I actually started investing when I first turned 18. Now I'm 23 years old, and my first trade was on Robinhood. I could scroll back into the history to find the date for you guys. So you can see way back in 2016, that is when I made my first $100 deposit, and I actually started investing in stocks. So this has been a long time coming for me, and an app that I've used pretty much ever since that date, and one that, you know, I see myself using for the foreseeable future. So let me just jump in. I'm going to start talking about how to use this app in general, some of the things you want to look out for. So maybe you're brand new, you don't even know how to buy and sell stocks. So let's talk about buying and selling. There is a little search icon down in the bottom of the application that you can click on, and you can literally just search for any stocks that trade. So for example, let's search up Apple. Maybe you want to get a share of Apple. A lot going on with them lately. All you would need to do is search them, and in this screen here you have a bunch of information. If you like doing stock research, I mean, Robinhood has some pretty solid information, not always 100% accurate, so I would highly recommend checking, you know, things like dividends. Basically I'd just double check anything that you find on this app elsewhere, because it is really important to get your numbers right when it comes to investing. So when you click into a stock here, you can see, you can view the chart for the past day, week, you can go into the month, 3 months, 1 year, and also 5-year trends. So obviously for Apple, this is very solid, a really good chart, and there could be potential growth here in the future. So maybe you are thinking about investing in them. Well, you can see your current position after you actually buy them right here. You can see I own just over 1 share. You can invest in fractional shares on Robinhood. You just need to get on the wait list and get granted access to the account. But you can see the market value it's changing, because on the stock market, you know, the values of the stocks are ever changing. So we're looking at $497 right now, and the average cost for me is $377. So if you look down a little bit further, you can see today's return, which I've lost about $1 on, and then the total return from this stock here is $119, or 31% up. You can see it in parentheses right there. So pretty easy to view. That's just a stock. I'll show you more stocks just so you get an example of if you have more than 1 share. But you can see next you have recurring investments right here. So you can set a value of money that you want to invest in Apple, either daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. So if I wanted to set up a recurring investment, I just click on set up current investment, and it'll just give you a little brief overview of what it is. You can click on continue. And let's say I wanted to do it every Monday, I would click weekly, I would click continue there, and then basically select the account that you want to pull the money from. You can see my banking account is linked up with this, or the Robinhood account that I have. So if I wanted my bank, click on that, click continue, and then basically you can just select the amount. So if I wanted $50 weekly, all I would do is that, hit review, and then swipe up. I believe you can also, if you go into edit this here, you should be able to change. Yeah, you can change. If you just clicked on weekly, you didn't want it to be weekly, maybe you wanted it to be monthly, you could change it right there. So that is pretty cool. Recurring investments, one that not everybody knows about. It's relatively new to the Robinhood platform, but one that I could see myself definitely using if there's stocks that I believe in and I want a dollar cost average in. Recurring investments is very solid. So here's where I was talking about the stats, and these are the ones you might want to double check with other platforms. And I say might, you definitely want to check these just to make sure you are getting the most accurate, the most representable information here. So you can see the open, the high, the low, the 52-week high, 52-week low, volume, the average volume traded. You can look at the market cap, which 2.12 trillion is absolutely huge. I look for market caps in the billions, and Apple obviously a very, very big company. And then you have the PE ratio and the dividend yield right there. I found that the dividend yield, as I mentioned, isn't always entirely accurate. So definitely Yahoo Finance is a great one to just jump on, search for this, just double check this information. So then you have this little news section down below that. And in the news section, it basically is going to bring all relevant articles that are latest out about Apple. So you can see that these are all within the last hour because Apple is a highly talked about company. There's always news coming out, so it's not hard to find an article for Apple. So that's exactly what that section is there. Then you can see what analysts are saying. You can see basically 67% say that Apple's a buy, 23% say hold, and 10% say sell. Now, I don't usually look into that all that much. I mean, it is nice to see that, over 50%, I guess, is saying buy when this is a company that I am buying into right now. You can see what the bulls say, and this is based off Morningstar. So you can click on show more, and it'll basically give you information about why people are investing in this stock, why the bulls are saying, put your money here, you're not going to regret it. But then you can also see what the bears are saying from Morningstar as well. So this is where, it's just nice to have some of this information. And really, it doesn't matter if you are bullish or bearish. You're going to agree with whatever the bulls say if you're bullish, or the bears say if you're bearish. I mean, that's just kind of how it works. So it might not help you all that much because there's always a bulls and bears say on the stocks here. And then you can see you can get more research report by getting Robinhood Premium. But what I find is a lot of the features of Robinhood's premium account you actually can get for free from various websites online. I mean, there is just a little bit that would actually require membership. So for that reason, I just stick to the basic plan. There's no reason for me to shovel out extra money into Robinhood. I can just be satisfied with what I see, what I get from the app out of box. Now, then you can see the earnings and see a visual representation of where they are in terms of beating their earnings or not. So you can see Apple, the past 4 quarters have beat expectations every time. And you can see their expected EPS is coming in on 1028 after hours. What's cool is you'll get a notification when companies report earnings. You can actually join them from the Robinhood app. It'll give you a link to go to another website where you just basically put in your information and you can listen right into the earnings reports. I've done this so many times. The calls are really interesting and you can definitely gather valuable insight from them. So then you can get a section here where you see people also bought. So people buy Apple, they also buy stocks like Microsoft, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix, so on, Tesla, Disney. There's so many here. And oftentimes, I don't use this section too much, but it is nice to know what people are investing in here. Then you can see what it's featured in. This is things like industries, the most popular list, the business service. You can just see where this stock is finding itself. And one that's interesting is the 100 most popular, but I will talk about that in a few minutes here because that is just a cool one to know overall. What are the most people in Robinhood buying? A lot of people don't know how to navigate over to the 100 most popular. You could click on it right in that section if you find one that's in the 100 most popular, and then there's other ways to go about it as well. So then you can get a little bit about Apple, a little bit about the information. I'm sorry, I skipped over the history there. So these are all the investments I made within Apple. Crazy. I was getting full shares of Apple in 2016 worth $99.32. Now they're over $500, but I had sold those before then, which real bummer, but I can't kick myself in the foot now about all that. So then you can see the about section here. It just talks a little bit about Apple, what they offer. it's pretty basic information, their CEO, headquarters, you can see when they're founded and how many employees they actually have. So that's really the breakdown for each stock section. If you wanted to go ahead and actually buy this stock, all you need to do is click trade. You can see there's trade options, sell or buy. You click on buy, and then in there, you can buy either in dollar values if you have fractional shares. So I could just put $100 and get $100 worth, even though it is a $500 stock. Or what you can do is you can click on the top right, you can do buy in shares. You can buy one share here, click on review, and then you can see I don't have enough money. It'll give you a notification. If you don't have enough money in your account, you can deposit, but essentially I would swipe up and be able to buy just like that. It's so simple. That's why I love it. It's not confusing at all. You know exactly where everything is in this application. But one thing that is definitely worth mentioning, if you do end up buying a share, I would highly recommend doing a limit order so you can just maximize the amount of money you're putting in. So to do a limit order, basically you click on shares in the top right, you click on limit order, and what this is doing is setting the exact price you're willing to pay for an Apple stock. So if I wanted to spend no more than $501, you can see it's currently trading at 501.86. If I wanted to trade no more than $501, I can set that, and basically it will only buy if it dips to that value. What I always do, even if I'm buying at the market, I will set the market, I will set the limit order here and just ensure that I'm getting the stock at the value I want. Because sometimes, you know, there's huge fluctuations, there's discrepancies. Even some of these applications like Robinhood has had problems in the past. So it just kind of is more of a safety net. Nothing's gonna weird happen that's gonna spike it real quick. You're gonna end up putting a lot more money in than you really wanted to initially, and you just lose out on profits that way. So that's another little section there. More things you can do in the buy section. So you can do you can set up your recurring investment in the screen. You can do your limit order. You can do a trailing stop order, which basically means if Apple rises above its lowest price by a specific amount, you're going to trigger a market buy there. You can do a stop order, which basically if Apple rises to a fixed stop price, then it's going to trigger a market buy there. And then stop limit order, if Apple rises to a fixed stock price, it's going to trigger a limit buy. So there is nice ways to set this up, and it's all very, very simple to see here in the structure of the Robinhood application. Now, let's say you already bought your share of Apple and you've waited and you've held it and you don't think it's going to go up really, or maybe you just need to get the money out of the account. To sell it, all you do is click trade, click sell. You can select your number of shares. So I would do 1 here. You could review and then swipe up to submit that. I'm not going to be selling right now, but another thing I would recommend is, again, setting that limit order so you don't have to worry. You're going to know you're getting the exact amount of money you want when selling it. So you can do your limit order here. It's trading at 502.46 right now. So if I wanted to get exactly that, I would just enter that here, click on continue, and then keep setting it up that way. So very, very simple stuff right there. Pretty straightforward, easy to know and understand. The next thing that I will briefly talk about, and I don't want to go too far into depth on it because I feel like if you are a brand new investor, then it's not the best option for you, but is actually trading options, and it is available on Robinhood. So you can just click trade, click on trade options, and then if you don't know much about options, essentially you are betting on the market, betting on the stock. Let's say Apple, if you think it's going to go up, you set a price that you think it's going to go to in the future. And then if it rises to that value or higher, you end up you can make some really, really decent money from it. But what I've found and the ways that I've tried doing it, I mean, there are definitely strategies out there. So if you're looking to take advantage of trading options, I'd highly recommend going to check out strategies. Don't just gamble on the market. So if you look at, August 28th here, September 4th. Basically, the way this is outlaid is you can see at the top, you can set the strike date, which basically means that's the date that your options will expire. If I think the stock is going to go up to $515, you can see I would click on this. And then if I just wanted to get 100 contracts, I would just do 1. And then you can see it'd be 15.15 right there for the investment. And essentially, if it doesn't raise to that and I never sold these beforehand, I would end up losing all of that money. So it is very risky, but it does present one of the highest rewards you can possibly get on the stock market. So it really comes down to your risk tolerance and understanding who you are as an investor. And that's pretty much it for buying and selling right there. So straightforward. One cool thing about Robinhood, and maybe you haven't taken advantage of this quite yet, is the referral program. So if you haven't actually opened an account yet, you could use the referral program and get yourself a free stock. And if somebody uses your referral code, you can get them a free stock. So for example, Brandon used my referral code here. I'm gonna pick a stock and I'm gonna open it up for you guys here. I'll just scratch it right here. And you can see I got Amiris, which I haven't even seen before, but that is worth $3.52. So really, really cool. You basically can get free money from this. And you know what? Never say no to free money. You should always take advantage of something like this, especially if you have a couple friends who maybe are interested in investing, don't really know where to start. Hook them up with the referral code, get them a free stock. You can get some really, really great ones out of here. I've heard people getting Microsoft, Apple before, some really solid options, and you know, really cool that they have this as a feature. It's one of the best referral programs that I've seen out there on the market, other than Webull Investing as well. So if you go back to the home screen, let's say you bought a bunch of stocks, this is where they're actually going to show up. So you can see these are all the stocks that I'm currently holding right now. Don't just copy what I'm investing in. Basically, you're going to want to make sure you do your own due diligence. I'm not a financial advisor. So at the very top here, you can see your chart. So if you look at the past day, I've made $63, past week, $55. Past month, $340, past 3 months, $605, and past year, we're looking at $403. So you can see my buying power right here. This is essentially money that I've transferred in and what I could spend on the market right now. I do what's called the Robinhood Challenge. If you guys don't know what that is, invest $100 every single week, and I give you update videos every Wednesday. So that's one series you might want to check out. And basically, it just gives you my insight, why I make my moves, and it just talks about, you know, maybe you can learn a thing or two from my my winnings and my mistakes. It's a really cool little series. Highly recommend checking that out. So as I said, let me click into one of my stocks here. I just want to show you another example of, you know, you can see I own 53 shares of this ETF right here, and I have an average cost of $36.22. Today's return, I've made $30, but overall I'm down 102. So you're not always going to make money on the stock market. You have to be able to have thick skin, hold. I mean, this was down pretty low. I was up at some points like 10-15% from this investment, and I was down like 10-15%, but I never sold. I just kept buying, and I kept dollar cost averaging my way down. But you can see this is where it starts getting into some cool little statistics. My portfolio diversity here, 24.38%. And then obviously it's just the same as Apple, as I showed you before. If you scroll down, you're going to see all the different sections here, and you can see there's the most popular again, but we'll get into that in a minute. So this is where all the stocks show up. What's cool is you can click on the little green, I guess, money value next to the SPHD here. If I click that, it's going to display data. You can basically see the last price, percent change, your equity, today's return, or total percentage change. I'm going to go ahead and click on your equity. And I like to reorganize my stocks. I found that some people didn't actually know you could reorganize the positions of your holdings here. All you need to do is long press on one and you can drag it up or down. So I like sorting by my equity. You can see that mainly what I try and do is put the ones that I have the most equity in higher than the ones that I have lower equity in. So as I scroll down, it's basically organized. You can see there's a couple that are out of the order because I either invested in them recently or their stock has just gone up a lot. So that's what I typically try and do. You can see it's a little bit unorganized right now. I apologize for that, but it's really cool. Some people didn't know that you could actually rearrange those stocks. Another cool thing is you actually have a watch list down here. So you can see it's NA because I have no equity in them, but if I go to last price, you can click on it here. So here's one, American Express. If I click into it, I forgot to show you, but there is a little check mark here in the top right. Basically, that's what adds it to the watch list. You can see I pressed it, took the check away. If you want it to show up on your watch list on your home screen, all you do is hit that plus icon, and there you have it. It's gonna show up for you. So because I just re-added it, it goes to the bottom, but you can reorganize these as well if you wanted to switch around your watch list, have some higher, have some lower. I don't find myself using this feature too often, but it's just one to know that's there. This section here in the bottom, you can see it takes you right to your cash section. And this, if you have access to Robinhood Cash Management, if you don't know much about that, or you're trying to get off the wait list, highly recommend checking out a few other videos I have on the channel that talks about that entire process. But essentially the cash management account works like a checking account where you get free money basically just for holding money in Robinhood. I believe the percentage is somewhere around 0.3% right now, APY, which is better than most traditional banks. So you can see in here is your history of depositing and buying, and you can see that's the 0.3% I was talking about with the Robinhood Cash Management account. As you scroll down, I do have the Robinhood debit card, so it shows up here. I could set my PIN number, do all the things that I need to do. I could show my account, but I'm not going to go too far into that. Essentially, what you need to know about this section is this is where you can transfer money in. If you click transfer, you can transfer to Robinhood, to your bank. You can set up direct deposit, which is pretty cool, or even schedule automatic deposits. So that's some that people didn't know necessarily is in this, but you can actually schedule automatic deposits to deposit right into your account. So that's how I deposit my weekly amount. I deposit $100 every single week, and you can see it's already set up. So if I wanted to add another one, all I would do is add this here. You can set up the amount of times you want it to go, quarterly, monthly, twice a week, weekly, whatever you want to do. You can set schedule, and then you set the amount of money you want to invest. So if I want $100, I could do it here, review, and then this is just saying that it's duplicating. So if you like to change the existing automatic deposit, I must cancel it first, but I'm just going to keep it right now. I'm not looking to set up another automatic deposit. I just wanted to show you guys where that feature actually was. Another cool thing they just introduced, another video I put out, pay by check. So you can now send checks using Robinhood. You don't even need a checkbook. They don't give you one. You basically just set the destination you want to send it to. You set the name of the person you're sending to. So let's say I'm sending it to John Smith here. Continue. You set their mailing address, and basically you can set the value, and it's so simple, very hands off, and the check gets there. I believe it's between 5 and 7 business days, but they don't hold themselves to it. It's basically just a way to say, you know, your checks should arrive within the next 5 to 7 business days. And that is pretty cool, a cool little feature. I haven't seen any other brokerages offer something like that. Robinhood is definitely trying to continue to innovate and change the game. So as I explained before, in the bottom, you have the little search icon. This is where you can go into and search for those stocks. Like I showed you Apple before, but it also has some relevant news. You can see right now with TikTok being a huge topic, whether that's going to be here in the next year or not, we'll see. But you can see the top movers here on the market, what's going on. You can see this Northern Dynasty Minerals is down 35% today. So if you're a momentum or a volume trader, this might be a pretty solid section to look at. iBio is trading up 30%. Maybe you want to see if you can capitalize on some of those gains, who knows. That's kind of risky, but it's cool to see the top movers. I definitely look at this section a lot, and I don't necessarily invest in all of them, but it's just cool to see what's going on. You can see there's more news articles down here. And pretty much, I don't know, I sometimes read the news articles, but where they catch my attention is right on the home screen usually. If you scroll up here, you can see that this is where some of the price movement shows, but it also shows some of those headlines here. So if I see something that catches my eye, I want to read about it, I just simply click into it. It's going to take me to a third-party website where I can read. And Robinhood tries its best to make it a reputable source that you can get some solid information from. So that's how I get the information there. And that's pretty much all there is in the search section. There's many different things you can search for, different ETFs. Let's say you can look up the Vanguard Total Stock Market ETF here, another one that I'm investing in. But there's just, you know, what you typically see for holdings from brokerages, you're definitely going to get from Robinhood as well. Okay, now if you go into this little messages icon, it basically is, I look at this for some of the history, some of what I'm buying and selling, but that's essentially what it is. Robinhood is trying to be more personal with you, try and give you more information. So if you click into this, they're just doing little almost text message like messages about when you're buying and selling and what's going on in the market, depositing, whatever you do. But you can see there's little green circles next to them. I rarely open these, but it's cool just to see, you know, what's going on. They basically keep you updated and give you a lot of relevant information here. Don't find myself in this section all that much, just a nice to have. Then you have your little person icon here in the bottom right. This is where you're taken to see your account settings, I guess. This is where you can upgrade to gold, This is where you can get your referral code to invite people. And then this is where you can get more news. You can see the most popular stocks on Robinhood. So if you wanted to see that 100 most popular, you can click right into it, scroll through, and there's a lot of great stocks that might come across your mind when it comes to investing. And it's just nice to know that other people are investing in them as well. So as I scroll through, this is the top 100 holdings in terms of the volume traded on Robinhood here. And then you can see my free stocks here. What's really cool is that referral program I've talked about. These are all people who have signed up using my referral program who have not yet deposited. But you can see this is all free money that I've gained here on Robinhood, and it comes directly from the referral program. You can see most of my stocks are around that $4 price range, but sometimes it goes a little bit higher. Here's one for $7.67. It's pretty cool that they have this as a feature, as I said before, and I would highly recommend that even if you don't use my referral code, at least use somebody's or pass it along to somebody who's thinking about creating an account. It's worth doing 100%. You can look at investing. You can look at your investing section here and set up dividend reinvestment programs, which essentially all of the dividends that you get paid from companies, you can set up a recurring investment. So basically what this says right here in this section is the ones that are checked off for me on the right hand side, anytime they pay me a dividend, it's automatically reinvested back into that stock. So Apple, for example, is one, AbbVie is another one, McDonald's, Realty Income. There's a lot of great ones here that I definitely reinvest, and you could do it with pretty much anything that shows up here. So if I wanted to go with Walmart, I just checked off Walmart there, and essentially if they were to pay me a dividend, it would get reinvested, but I don't want to set it up for Walmart. Some people really like dividend reinvestment. Some people think it's a waste because you're not picking the exact price you want to go back into companies at. I'm a very hands-off investor. For me, it doesn't really matter all that much. I'll buy at the highest price of stocks sometimes because my goal with this portfolio is just to hold for a very long time, take advantage in the future. You can enable spreads and options trading here, and then this is where you see your day trade section. So if you didn't know, you only get about 3 day trades before you're marked as a patented day trader, and you basically can't do much with your account at that point. So day trading is something to take very seriously. I would highly recommend setting your limit for day trading so it doesn't allow you to go past that 3, and then you won't have to worry about it, and that's in a week period. So that's just something that you should know. If you're going to be investing, you don't want to be marked as a patent day trader. It's very bad for that to happen. You can basically only day trade if you have, I believe, over $25,000 in your account, more than that 3 allotted period. So looking here, you can see your transfers. Again, that's just basically the same section I showed you there before. You can look at your history. You can change the settings of your account here. You can upgrade to gold, look at your account information, set up your Face ID scan, your Touch ID scan, everything here. App appearance, you can change it. Basically, you can make it different colors here, which is kind of cool. Accessible colors if you were having a hard time, maybe some type of color blindness going on there. And you can also change the theme, so you can go to dark theme, you can go to a light theme, and you can do it so basically when the market's open, it's going to be light. When it's closed, it's going to be dark. But I like to do light because I think it's easier on these videos for you guys to see what's actually going on. So that's really, really awesome as well. I'm going to go ahead and go back here to this section. You got your help section. Unfortunately, Robinhood doesn't have I would say super solid support lineup because you can't actually call into the number, but you can email them, and they are really responsive, and they definitely have helped me out in the past. You can look in the help center for your information first, and basically if you didn't know, like, I don't know, how to send documents, you can look up and it's going to give you the information here. Or if it's something that requires you to contact them, you can ask them general question. You can basically set up what you want to talk about, and then you can email them your issue and they'll get back to you. It's usually within the same day, which is nice. But again, I think when it comes to money investing, having a brokerage that allows you to have that one-on-one connection to call into somebody to get help with your money, I think is super important, and where they might lack, and something that they'll probably update in the future. You can look at the terms, the privacy, and relationship summary. So really, guys, that is all the beginner information you should know when you start thinking about using Robinhood. I just gave you a complete rundown of the application with those different sections, what you can be doing to set up, recurring investments, anything that you have. If you have any questions whatsoever, please leave them in the comment section down below. I will be sure to get back to you. If it's Robinhood related, investing related, what have you, I will be sure to get it back. So Thank you so much for checking out this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, if you took anything away, please hit that like button. It would really mean a lot to me. Thank you so much for checking out the video, and have a great day.